We can bring in our next guest, and we'll tell our guests on the couch. You can put the headphones on there on the sponsors couch if you want to listen to this. Rich Sutter, we're going to bring him in on video chat of the Columbus Blue Jackets and Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Richie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good. We're good. Hey, if you don't have your contract renewed, you were fired, right? Is that not? That's the way I understand it.
Well, I don't know how the CFL works, you guys, but I do know, like, in our league, if your contract's renewed, that just basically means you're walking. And honestly, people read into it differently. Some people say you're fired. Well, how are you fired if you don't have a contract? Your contract's expired. You walk, or else they allow you to walk. So that I don't think that technically tells you you're fired, because they're just not renewing it. I guess it's however you want to say it. That happened to my brother Dwayne in Edmonton this fall. He never had a contract, and he knew he didn't have a contract all summer, and the team kept deciding whether or not they wanted to renew him or let him walk. And at the end of the day, they let him walk. And then Mark Spector came out and said, well, he was fired. I said, well, how the hell are you fired? You don't have a contract. So I don't know. I guess it's however people want to put it. In either a negative or a positive monotone. It's how the world works these days. We all know that.
Yeah, it's wording, it's semantics, it's parting ways, whatever. Look, it's been a wild week in hockey. I want your take on the firing of Mike Babcock and the subsequent fallout since, if you don't mind.
It's been a difficult week. It's been a bothersome week, to be honest with you. Let's start with Babs. I mean, here's a guy who's a great coach, and I've known him since I was 21, 22 years old. We roomed together at training camp in Vancouver when he was trying to turn pro as a player, and I've had a relationship with him for a lot of years. He's rode some very good hockey teams with some very good athletes and very good hockey players, and good for him. But he was able still to manage these people and kind of guide them to Stanley Cups, to World Championships, World Cups. He's been very successful, and I think he did a major part in turning the Leafs organization around to what's expected on a day-to-day basis, and how to basically win. Sometimes you got to do certain things right or wrong or indifferent to motivate people, to change people, to get people to buy in. There's so many variables that go into this thing that on a team-to-team basis, that from an outside, it just looks so easy, but it's truly not, you guys. It's a difficult thing, and I'm just disappointed for him that he doesn't get to see it through, because I think he had that team turned around, and they can say what they want. These guys are paid multiple millions of dollars to perform. And if you think that you have to go sit on a bench or go play in a building and be an entertainer, and think that the guy behind you is affecting your play for the amount of money you're making, I think you're off your rocker. Go play. You play for your teammates first and foremost. You play for your families. You play for your loved ones. Come on. I played this game and been around long enough that you got to be a motivated human being yourself first and foremost, regardless of whatever's going on around you or behind you should not dictate that much in your life as a player, how you perform when you're making that kind of money. Does it look like it's the right move? I think it is probably looking like that right now in Toronto, but let's be honest. Mike Babcock signed a long-term contract for an exorbitant amount of money. And from the time he signed, you guys, the mandate in Toronto was always, we're bringing this guy in, this Sheldon Keefe guy. He's going to be the guy we're grooming, and he's going to be the next coach. Well, do you think Sheldon Keefe's going to wait around for 6 or 8 years to get an NHL job somewhere else because he's grooming for the job in Toronto? So the writing was on the wall from day one that Mike Babcock might never be there through 4 or 5, 6 years, and I think that turned out to be true. And let's be honest, that's how it played out. For the last 3 years, we've been saying, well, Sheldon Keefe's the next guy. He's the next guy. Well, try coaching and working with people, and that's being said a lot of the time. It's not an easy thing to do. So I just didn't like how that played out, but that's their business. We have our own worries with our own hockey club and how we perform and how we keep things to ourselves. And then for the last part of the question, or your comment to me, Rod, it's been a difficult 48 hours, I believe, for a lot of people. I can't imagine what's going through Bill's mindset right now and how things have played out. It's not easy. We all know there's no place in the game for any kind of language or however you want to put that towards your athletes, towards the performers that people have to perform. I was a young player at one time, and hey, things happen. You get spoken to in a lot of different ways that you're not going to like, you don't agree with, and you have to try and play through it. It's happened to a lot of players, so I wouldn't say, and don't quote me on that as a negative tone, but things get said. Times have changed. You can't do that, and you should never have been able to do that at any stage in a person's career, where it was back 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. But let's be honest, you got to believe that those things have happened to multiple times at multiple sources. And I just think the timing of it, how it's came out, has been very unusual, strange. But again, at the same time, someone's getting something off their chest that they felt that they should have done a long time ago. And it takes a big man or a big person to do that. And so now we wait and see where this falls and where things will fall, I would assume very soon, the next day or so.
Have you, just lastly, have you spoken to your brother Brian or Daryl in the last 10 days since we were all together in Paradise Hill, Saskatchewan?
No, but I heard some stories from little birds in the sky. So I'm not sure how it went, but I just hope that they did keep Brian off. I gave him the clock, and when the time was up, they threw him off the stage.
Brian was totally fine. Brian was hilarious, but Daryl and I got in a huge argument over exactly what you're talking about right now. He thinks that Don Cherry should be able to say whatever he wants for as long as he wants forever, because everything he's done for hockey and for the military and for Canada. And I said, Daryl, it's not like that anymore. You can't say whatever you want. And it went back and forth, and they're still talking about it up there. So I want, because I got down here and people are saying, did you call Rich and tell him about what his brother said? I said, you think Rich doesn't know? I was going to call you, but I thought I'll be talking to you at some point.
I'm going to see Daryl tomorrow, and I will ask him how was his trip to Saskatchewan, and did you get a chance to sit down and visit with Rod Pedersen? And I'll let him take the cue from there. I'm not surprised what Daryl said. I quite frankly don't agree with him. We live in such an incredible country and have such diverse cultures, and I think, there's some things we don't agree with about how some things work, but it is what it is. And I think I've learned over the years that life's too short. You're on this planet to be a good human being and to treat people how you want to be treated. I think that's how you stay ahead and get ahead to begin with, and be happy. And I think if you have those things in your life and your health, you're way further ahead. It's not about being outspoken and getting your face in front of a camera and letting the world know about what your feelings are that might be right, wrong, or indifferent. But some people have their way of doing some things, and we don't always have to agree with it, but that's the way it is.
Absolutely. Rich, great chat as always. Let's do it again soon.
Great, you guys. I'm in rainy, stormy Southern California, where it's it's raining now, and then it's supposed to go over the mountain passes to a game tonight, which I'm kind of scared about doing. They're talking about 12 inches of snow, 25 miles north of Los Angeles. So guess I got to figure out what my day is going to be like.
I think you should get on the road early then. All right. Drive safe, Richie. Keep in touch.
Okay, you bet, guys. All the best. Take care.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.